Hey, listeners. As promised, here's part 2 of episode 9. Let's get right to it.
We're gonna keep going.
Keep going, Shy. Keep it going.
I have 2 questions and then the one final question. So I'm gonna pick one for each of them.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Shane, what does the Bible say about smoking weed?
I don't think the Bible talks about smoking at all.
Okay. So is there some kind of Christian belief as to not smoking weed, or
smoking weed is not a sin.
Okay.
It's not a sin. It doesn't say like but the Bible talks about also preserving your body. The Bible says that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, so you want to make sure that it stays as clean as possible. Now, you're damaging your lungs smoking, whether smoking weed or smoking cigarette. Mm-hmm. Right? If you're in a burning house, it starts to burn it down, you're gonna die from that stuff. Mm-hmm. It's not good for you. It's not part of the natural state of man in a sense. It's not an element.
What if you're not smoking it?
What if I do edibles?
Edibles?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it goes to the mind now.
Okay.
It goes to the mind, and all right, let's kind of like to be real, so let's be real. So I've been drunk before, and I've been very high.
Okay.
And the things I've done when I was in that state of mind was not good, right?
Okay.
At all. And I remember the last time I got drunk and high at the same time.
Dry.
I got dry. I remember when I woke up the next day, I felt so terrible, disgusted. I felt nasty. I felt like I felt like garbage. I can't even explain it. But I know that God took the taste out of my mouth. There's something wrong. There was something wrong. There's just something wrong with doing it, right? And the fear of mind where I was in is almost like I was losing my mind in a sense. So I just think it's totally wrong because you're damaging, you're messing with your mind as far as this is where the battle happens spiritually and all these things, and at the same time, it's what Bible say about that? Something about not ruin your mind.
What is your mind? Something
about your mind. Don't let your mind. Don't change your mind frame or something like that. What am I talking about?
Okay.
I remember it. Whatever. But it's in the Bible. Just keep your mind pure in a sense. I don't remember what it is.
So my thing is, right?
I don't think I answered that. Right?
No. I get what you're saying. Yeah, definitely. But so something that I thought about the other day, and the plant was made. God created all things, right? And it was there. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how in the history of man that we came to discover that this thing, you smoke it or do whatever to it. So the thought that came to me was that what if this was supposed to be a form of worship, next level, heightened awareness of God and your surroundings.
Right. Very good question.
Well, yeah, I mean, crack is also a plant. It also comes from a plant.
What?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What?
Cocaine.
Cocaine.
Yeah.
Cocaine.
Yes.
That's not coming from a plant.
Yeah.
But we always bring a weed.
Mm-hmm.
We always bring a weed. It's because weed is more subtle in a sense. It open up your mind, make you think deep. But at the same time, what about cocaine?
Cocaine does stuff with neurotransmitters in your body.
What about mushrooms?
Same kind of thing. Yeah. So all of that. Because there's you can probably do a certain amount of cocaine to not be completely useless, right? It's when people overdo it. So in the same way, these are drugs or coming from natural things that have been used. So what if their original intent was to bring you to a higher place?
Well, I suppose I guess you would have to revert in sticking with the natural plant versus the chemically produced ones, because if it's chemically produced, then that changes the subject altogether, right? So let's stick with the natural plant of the ganja.
It's not even natural anymore.
Well, I mean, you can still,
I don't know what you're smoking right now.
You can still get the high grade.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about that, Cecil?
Well, I only tried, just merely.
Okay.
So he
Merely.
doesn't know anything.
Did you
about it.
inhale
I
it?
don't know anything
Okay.
at all
Okay.
about the ganja weed.
Okay.
The ganja weed. Okay.
Yeah, so my argument with that is, for anything that you're putting inside of your body, which is the temple of God, injecting or smoking or whatever the case is, that will change your makeup, your mind, your mental. You're changing anything in your cranium to make you feel more powerful, more super, more euphoric. I suppose that's probably the right word. And euphoric. For me, it takes you away from your dependency upon the Holy Spirit that is inside of you, that should take you to that level of extreme worship that you think that somebody might think that weed or some other medicated drug could take you, right? So if I'm in a state of natural worshiping God, weed should not be able to take me higher, or cocaine will not be able to take me higher in that form of worship if I am true to what I'm doing in worship with my God. Because, worship with your God is... I've been in services, I've been in church where I feel like it's almost as though I'm walking on stars. I feel it's like almost like an out of body experience where I don't know what on God's earth to do with myself, because it's not, my eyes are big. It's like the heavens is going on, is playing ball in my head.
Okay. All right. You're high off the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Okay, yeah. Let me actually jump back to that question, all right? So the Bible also talks about don't be mastered by anything.
Okay.
Whether it be alcohol, whether it be weed, right? Because understand, the mind is the most important part of our body, right? It's the most important part, right? Because that, if anybody controls your mind, it can make you do whatever they want to do. And when you're high or drunk, right, you're kind of open to whatever emotional or what's the next word I'm looking for? Somebody that will encourage you to do something. You like when you're high, you're more laid back. I'm telling you from experience, you're more chill. Mm-hmm. When you're drunk or something like that, you have more courage to do certain things, right? So it's almost like your mind is being amplified to do either something negative or it could be something positive. But at the same time, don't be mastered by anything other than you, right? Because almost like you're giving up your free will. Right? Okay. Now there's some spiritual connection to it, but also society is like, listen, I'm just doing it just to chill. It's just a fun thing to do. But actually, if you look at what happens when a person is drunk, there's so many more negative things happen than positive things. Similar situation when you're high. I remember a story when these guys, before they do a drive-by, right, they will get together and they have a smoke session, and they'll listen to some music, some hip hop music, some music talking about killing and stuff like that. And because their mind is so open and they listen to the music, it amplifies them to have the courage to carry out the drive-by without any remorse or anything like that, because their mind is so open. So when it comes down to being intoxicated or being sober, there's a big difference, right? Like Cecil said, when you're sober, that's how you want to approach the throne of God. That's where you want to be when you find God. Now, I say that, and I'm going to say this. The night I got baptized, the night I actually gave my life to God, or exposed to some form of spiritual awakening in a sense. I was high. I was on the highest height or whatever. I've never been so high before in my life. My eye was bloodshot red. But I was still aware of what's going on. And this is a little part of my testimony. I cited the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, such and such, right? And it was, I mean, I've been saying that since I was growing up. You know, that's the only thing, you know, I knew, you know, not being in church.
School in Jamaica.
And when I said that, when I said those words, it made so much sense. Every single line was so clear. It went beyond just words. It's almost like I'm talking directly to God, and He's actually telling me what it means. But I was super high. My eyes were bloodshot red, and I actually looked in the mirror, looking at myself because I was so high. When you're high, you do stupid stuff. So you actually look at yourself and just make faces. But when I was staring in the mirror, I saw like the image of Christ came over my face, straight up. That's what happened. But
Was he black or was he white?
It wasn't. I couldn't tell.
Just want to make.
And I also saw Satan too. Same night.
Was he black or was he white?
It's almost like an image. It wasn't like a color. It was like an image. And he actually gave me like a devilish smile, right? When I saw Christ, it's like his head was down, looking at me like, "Yo, I'm here. I got you." Right? But I was so high because the thing is that when I was that high, I was gonna do something really, really, really bad. Because I was at a point in my life where I know this is being recorded. I was at a point in my life where I was getting ready to rob people. So I lost my job. It was like a lot of stuff was going on. And we had guns, and I was getting ready to go that route. And it was at that point in my life when Christ came in and swept me away. He's like, he knew exactly what to do. Even though I was high, he still revealed himself so I can understand what was going on.
Okay.
So when it comes down to that smoking stuff, I mean, it's a touchy topic for me. And I still think it's wrong because I can't do it anymore.
Oh.
I thought he was high. Says, are you high?
Says a little high just now. I don't know what happened.
Says it a high move just now. I'm staring at his hand. Like, okay. But yeah, that's it for me.
Okay.
That's weird.
Well,
You have a question for Cecil?
oh, yes.
Oh.
So now my question for Cecil is, what does the Bible say about cursing? Now, before you answer, here's my take,
Okay.
my personal flawed
All right.
view. Okay? I don't curse on the podcast because this is what we've agreed to, and the audience is, we're not trying to offend. If you walk up on me, possibly, and this is my truth, with a certain crowd of friends, you might hear, your chances of hearing me curse will be great.
Right.
Okay? I think it makes conversation colorful. I think it makes things funnier. I think that if I'm not cursing at you, then I don't think there should be a problem.
Okay.
Like, see where, like, if I'm cursing in anger or whatever. But otherwise, I just believe them to just be colorful adjectives
Okay.
that enhance
And they are colorful.
your speech.
They are colorful.
Okay.
Okay.
Very so okay.
So now,
So now you answer the question, right?
So again, not that I know of. Maybe somebody can comment and share with us where it's at. But I haven't seen where the Bible specifically comment on cursing, because what is cursing? Is it? Or I mean, the Bible talks about cursing. Or being a curse, or somebody trying to curse the people of God. But as far as a person opening their mouth and echoing a word that society calls curse, I'm not even sure if the only reason why I would say cursing. I'm trying to word how cursing violates or not violates God's principles.
okay.
And that's a moral conundrum. Cursing, It's not a biblical thing where Bible comes out and say, oh, you should not say F you, or you should not say, whatever other curse word. Because curse word up here is a different curse word also in Jamaica and Pakistan and Trinidad and somewhere else, right? So because we as human beings determine that, hey, don't say F you because it's a curse word. And obviously I don't know where who started it or how it became popular, but obviously it's humanistic. It's not something that is spiritual. So I think how the church look at it, the church probably look at it as sin because society looks at it, or some aspect of society. It is not allowed in public society because it's obviously welcome in private society where you and your friends, but public society as in on the TV or in a bigger forum where children are at or something like that. It's not permitted because of it's frowned upon in those settings. But I don't think the Bible comments on it as the Bible doesn't comment on it as being a sin. So I think that's where the church comes from in its application in looking at cursing as a sin, from the societal view as it being disrespectful and so on. Like I would amongst my friends, they're not going to curse in front of me because they respect me as a Christian and say that's not my lifestyle. Right? So because it's not my lifestyle to be cursing, then they respect that when they're dealing with me. Now if I go somewhere and see them in their crowd and they're talking to their friends, I'm going to join their crowd, and if they're cursing, I'm not going to say, if it's my environment though, if they're joining my environment, then I'm they would know that, hey, come on man, we're trying to do something here, and so on and so forth. So that's how I kind of look at it, as a behavioral thing and not a humanistic, moral thing rather than a spiritual.
Just another thing that we've added to the religious rules.
Right.
Well, actually, the Bible does say it's a sin.
Well, I don't know.
It's surprisingly it does.
Okay.
They talk about what's coming out of your mouth. Don't let nothing negative come. I mean, cursing is negative. No matter how you look at it, you can put the super adjective on the word to make it to emphasize your point, but at the same time, it's still what it is. Even though it's labeled by society a curse word, I mean, what is a curse, right? Or what is it? I mean, you're saying something negative to try to emphasize something positive.
But isn't the negative come from the connotation?
If you say that, then if you look at it from that perspective, then you condemn a lot of the things that you say to your wife, to your kids, to your friends, to me, to everybody in your life on a daily basis. Not using FU or one of those words that we in society consider as swear words. It's not curse word, it's swear. Swear.
So if society labels a lot of things where some culture,
and should the church allow society to label what they believe too? Because if society is what label, because if somebody's saying F you for whatever reason, he's saying that because either he is frustrated at somebody or it's just an adjective to be colorful about talking about something, or people use it. People use that colorful adjective right now not to be even disrespectful, just to describe how something is.
Forget you.
But even I would say if you're saying F you directly, that more sounds like a curse onto the person, like a negative thought. But if I'm saying this effing pen and I went, and whatever, it's different. I think the connotation is different when you're
would you go to a church that cursed?
Well, I guess based on this, I guess I would feel some type of way.
Yeah. Because morally, it doesn't. Because
of
it's a moral thing. It's a moral. And if I said to you,
so what if society say, okay, cursing is not a curse, or you can just
then it would be okay.
Nah, I mean,
what if I said to you? What if I said to you?
I don't think so.
What if we're here now? I'm gonna say, move for next thing I want, and you look back at me and say, and F you. It's the same thing we're saying.
No, it's not.
It's the same thing. It's the same.
No,
it's the
it's
meaning.
not.
I
Shane,
kinda
it's the
get his
meaning. It's the
point.
application of it. It's the meaning behind
No.
it. You know, it's not just the words that you're saying. It's
So
the
what are you
meaning
saying?
behind what you're
We're
saying.
both dismissing each
We're
other.
dismissing each other. We was using different ways of expressing it. It's the same exact thing. No, zero difference. The meaning behind it is it's just like it's almost like a simile. It's just dismissing. It's a dismissal of somebody from out of your presence or whatever. Dismissing what they're saying
I
or
heard
whatever
somebody.
the case
I
may
heard
be.
somebody say this one time. They stood up in front of the congregation and got the Bible. It says, "This is not what comes out of your mouth. I mean, it's not what goes into your mouth that makes you unclean. It's what comes out of your mouth that makes you unclean." And I heard somebody say that in front of the
The Bible,
congregation.
the Bible said the Bible said that it's not what goes into a man that defiles him, but what comes out. And what is the fu coming out of my mouth that is defiling me, or is it the deeds?
So what comes out of your mouth? What else comes out of your mouth? Words. Words is negative words.
Is that a
What
word
makes
that is
the word
defining?
negative?
What is in that word that
Because
is?
it's labeled by society. Okay, even though society labels it as negative, it's not a law in a sense, but at the same time, it's almost like you can't go around and slap somebody. I mean, that's assault, but that's not a good term. That's not a good analogy. But I'm just saying, like, society put it out there saying that these words cannot be used in certain settings, like you mentioned, right? And I ask you, even though society says it, and you're saying that it's okay when you're using it, not to embarrass somebody or to talk down to somebody or use it negatively, but just to express yourself, it's not bad. It's almost like you're saying that it's okay to use a word sometimes, but not, and then sometimes it's not. But the word still means what it means. You can't change the meaning of the word.
But in this case, Shane, I'm not advocating.
Can't change
Obviously,
the
I'm not
word.
advocating. Well, it's not changing the word. It's
the word means two things.
It's the word taking on several different meanings, just like how other English words have 3, 4, 5 different meanings. Like you could use that word. You could use that. You could use that word to express several different things about several in several different situations. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Say the word. I'm just kidding.
dear me.
Nah. I don't want you to lose your license,
I
bro.
will not.
Nah, listen.
I will not. Can I be honest with you? Can I be honest with you?
Go ahead.
I'll be honest with you. I've never said use. I've never ever one time in my life ever used the F word. Like putting it all the way through. Not once. But the other ones, the Jamaican ones, obviously.
The Jamaican. I remember you're talking about the different meanings, and I remember watching this video, and the word that they were on was bitch, right? And it was the girl. She was saying just how the different ways you can say bitch, and it can mean different things. Like, oh my God, girl, bitch, I got something to tell you, or. And I'm thinking of what you just said about the F word. I see people use it in different ways. But I don't use it personally. But
if they can't say it behind the pulpit, and there's something wrong with it.
Right,
Straight
of course. But there's a reason why.
It's not just because of society.
All right. So let's say it's not just about society, right? Because I'm not advocating for it neither.
No, I know that. I'm just saying.
I'm just creating discussion.
No,
out of it,
I know that.
Let me ask you.
So.
Let's all ponder on this one. Is there a spiritual nature to it, or let's find the spiritual nature to what we're talking about here? Because let's forget about the F word. Let's go to Jamaica. Let's pick up the BC.
All the cloths.
Same thing. All the cloths in the
It's a neck
closet.
Okay.
Right. So it's they're words used primarily to connotate a negative emotion. Primarily because people use it just like a girl. Yo, what's up, God?
Yeah,
it's just
how you do it.
No, in that notion.
But as an expression, like in excitement.
No, no.
Okay.
I'm saying you're wrong there because similarly to how you use the word. No, listen to what I'm saying.
All right, go ahead.
Let's take different words. Let's take more familiar words. Let's take more familiar words and let's use them in different sentences.
Okay.
All right. Let's say we talk about trying to find a word here that has double meaning. All right, so I'm not picking up anything right now, but I'm gonna get one soon. So we have a right normal English word that has double meaning. Most of the times they're opposites of each other, right?
We can use ass. Yes.
Right. All right. A donkey, right?
Yeah.
We can, let's say those two words.
Okay.
That word used to refer to two different things, right? So in this case where somebody is expressing, giving a joke and just say B clot or whatever clot in use as a joke, right? So that's the one side of the curse word now that we're looking at, and say that person expressing himself like that has a different meaning than me looking at you and say, yo, you clot. And that's a completely different meaning. I'm now angry at you, willing to do whatever I'm angry at you about, versus another man who's watching a sports game and say, yo,
you see that move?
So it's a different meaning.
Well, yeah, I know. I hear what you're saying. It's a different meaning. It doesn't matter. Okay, cool. If your mom is sitting in the room and you're excited, would you use the same term?
If I
you just respect the fact that your mom is there. That's why you're not going to use it.
No, what I'm saying is remember saying we have society involved in all of this, and if society looks at that, frown upon a particular word or a particular thing, then within my mom's world and experience, she's 20 years older than me, and she is growing up in a different society, and my society is expressing this word now in a different way and a different meaning that she's accustomed to hearing, B clot as in you disrespect me. Yeah. That's how she looks at it. But now I'm at a sports game with I do, and it's a different meaning. No, that's what I'm saying. One word, several meanings. That's my point.
I understand. Like, listen, for me, all right, I take this personal too, because I was very ignorant as far as just cussing all the time, because I didn't know how to express myself any other way other than cussing, right? I'm talking about every single way. I used to cuss at my sisters and everybody, right? And it bothered me. But when I got saved, it's like when I cuss, it's almost like a drum goes off in my heart, in a sense. There's something wrong with it. Now, I can't define the meaning, like, okay, why society feel like, okay, when you're using a different if you jovial versus serious, it's okay to laugh about it, but it's not okay when your pastor or your mom is sitting in there, you can't use the word. I mean, it's just, no matter how you look at it, it's just a curse word, profanity. It's a negative word. It's almost like using hallelujah. Hallelujah is one of the highest ways you can praise God, right? All right? And you can use that word. You can't use that word to do anything else but to praise God, right? Now, we don't know where all these other curse words are coming from, but I guarantee it started with something negative. I guarantee it was about something negative. But there's no way you can change that word to be something positive, no matter how you look at it.
All right.
Tyra, took over your thing.
No, I loved it.
We can go on.
Gonna. I thank you for the opinions. Very insightful from both ends.
Next time. Just we gotta finish.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up. The question that we asked earlier: what is something, and very briefly and quickly, something you would change about church or Christian culture? Notice the term, the culture. What is something now that you would change if you had the power?
I would change how we go about trying to indoctrinate our people, and also to prevent the religious spirit from hovering over what we believe. A religious spirit, I would want to prevent that from hovering over what we believe, because just to kind of go back to what Shane just said, once he became saved, the religious spirit anchored over him so much so that cursing was such a thing that was disdained, that if somebody cursed beside him, he probably want to fight him, because that religious spirit is so strong in some people that you could.
Casualty over here.
I would say so. It's a teaching. I would want the teaching to be a lot more closer to what the Bible teaches.
Okay, Shane.
Just to stop with that religious thing. We're gonna finish that, but no, there's no religious spirit. Trust me, I'm far from it, bro. For me,
no, it's not that.
I know what you mean, but I'm just the cursing thing just is.
Hey, we need to
something
put Candy because yeah.
I'm good now.
For me, I would love to see certain churches to accept just a little bit more transparency in a sense, similar to what Candy is talking about. I wear jeans to church sometimes, and I wear cut-up jeans, whole t-shirts. I feel comfortable doing that. And I went to certain churches where I wore shorts, and they're like, "Yo, come sit in the front," type of thing. And I felt the difference, man. Like, you know. But when it comes down to being a leader in the church, there's certain things that you're a certain level you're being held to, and I understand. But
in regards to clothes,
yeah,
even
in regards to clothes, it's just you want to govern yourself, okay. But at the same time, it's just certain churches are still, like Cecil said, holding on to certain religious appearances and stuff. Because remember, we're transitioning from the Catholic dominancy of the church and stuff like that. Now we have a new type of church where it's more kingdom geared, meaning talk about the kingdom of Christ and not just how you look. But yeah, so for me, I just want to see the realness. Like, people need to just come, just who they are, and then let God transform their minds and their heart.
Yeah, I agree with that too. One of the things I've noticed too, I've seen among in different places too, where it's almost as though people regard the edifice greater than the people that is the actual
Can you say what is
makeup.
edifice?
No, I'm agreeing with him.
So it's almost like the walls in between these four walls. What we keep in there, what we have in there, the chairs, the mics, the podium, everything in there.
Sacred.
Everything in there is sacred, and versus the attention on the actual person
That's actually going to sit in that actual
the
chair.
actual person that make up the actual church.
I'll tell you, the churches are not perfect. No matter what church you see, they're not
agree.
perfect. There's always some flaws here and there.
True.
And it may not be with the leaders. It could be sometimes with the people that's kind of like managing, like church managers. Sometimes are the managers, not necessarily the leaders. Right. So I know some leaders that's
people that pay the bills.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the pastors and stuff like that. But some of the managers sometimes, they're there and they're the gatekeepers in a sense, and they they're thirsting around because they give them that look, like you walk in the church with with your cut up jeans, or you may dress a certain way. They don't know this. They don't know that that's the girl only dress she has, and this is what she thinks as the Sunday's best. And they give them this look like, you know what I'm saying? And that alone would just change a person just to hate church or just to disdain church. And I've seen it happen before.
What about you, Shy? What would you change?
Church clothes.
Church clothes? Okay.
I don't own any church clothes anymore, so I really don't like. Huh? That's what. The traditional view of church clothes to me is crazy, annoying.
Yeah.
But I believe in modesty nonetheless.
Absolutely.
But church clothes thing kind of gets me.
Absolutely.
And then modesty. Okay. All right. What would I change? Because modesty is different to different people. Like
that's true.
What you consider modest is not modest to the next person.
That's true.
So. But what would I change? Just how the church is creatively. I think that we serve such a big God, and I believe that He planned so many things in us, dreams and creativity, and I just feel like all of that I think is sometimes lacking for within the church. Those skills that we were given, there's no room, no platform, not to use these skills. So that's just my thing. I feel like we have so many talented people within the church, and there isn't, an avenue for them to use any of these skills. Okay. So that would be my thing.
With that said, too, I still want to echo that we know that there's a lot of things happening in the church and a lot of things to be adjusted and ways for us to improve and grow from or grow into. But the church is, I love the way, one of the direction that I see a number of church going into, and I still thank God for the church because the church is doing a wonderful job. A lot of churches are doing great community work.
Yes.
A lot of churches are being very involved and changing people's lives. Testimonies from all over the place. So, and people are being touched in different ways. So,
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
Would y'all go to an online church?
Yeah.
Don't worry about the clothes. Just
Yes.
Right now that's a lot of churches doing that.
Yeah.
Would I go?
Technically, that's not a new concept, right? Like technically, if people who stay at home and watch church on TV.
Well, you can still go to like a building.
You mean being like a member of a...
It wouldn't be a consistent thing for me, personally, because I believe in serving.
Okay.
And I don't necessarily know how I would serve online.
Well, okay, online in terms of the service?
But yeah, you can watch the service online.
And that's it. No, there's no building to go to.
Right.
No.
Right, but then, so that doesn't necessarily mean that the church isn't doing something in the community. Right?
No, me personally.
No, I'm saying an online church doesn't mean that just because we don't meet in a building to listen to the pastor, doesn't mean that on Monday the church isn't serving food at whatever.
But if you're living here in Fort Lauderdale, you're watching Bishop T.D. Jakes' church online, how are you serving?
There are other, I'm saying it's not the only, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's not happening. So maybe
I didn't say it's not happening. I'm saying for you, how are you using your hands and your feet?
Right, but there could be ways that the church incorporates to do that.
But you're talking about you as an individual. You want to be able to do it. Okay.
Right.
Well, yeah. So it just depends. It depends on what they have set in place. I'm just saying it doesn't mean that you won't be able to serve in this church.
Well, I'll tell you right now, man, that's where some of the fast growing churches are going.
Yeah, a lot of them have online services.
They have like a main campus and then they stream everything. And some of them they still have they rent out like a gymnasium or something like that, and they still have pastors on site, right? Just for counseling or whatever.
You give online,
all this stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of churches are going there and they're growing really fast because it's almost like the church clothes issue is a big issue, it's a big problem, especially when it comes down to these set religious organization.
Depends on the church.
You walk in there and they have on their white gloves
because I think the churches that you're talking about that are going online, they're not concerned about your clothes.
They're not. It's Sunday mornings. It could be what do they call it when they give the communion service, where you got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to prepare for that, right? And they come still in their shorts and their cut up jeans. I keep on saying cut up jeans because that's the new trend right now. I've seen pastors doing it, and I think it's real cool because it's almost like that transparency issue that you're talking about. It starts from the top. You know what I'm saying? It starts from the top. Who's the leader of the church? Like some of my favorite pastors, they have like tattoos. They wear fitted shirts, and I love these guys because they're real. They talk about things that's relevant in a sense, right? They're not really focusing on the issues in society, but at the same time, they're talking about things that's affecting millennials or me in a sense. It's like it's right there, and it's. I'm not talking about just the cliche stuff. I'm talking about the real.
But even older stuff. Guys, like even you listen to the video with the Bishop T.D. Jakes the other day.
Like 3 or 4 times.
Like, come on, did he sound like an old fluffy duffy bishop guy?
I never heard T.D. Jakes talk like that before.
But ideally, that's what you want, right? Ideally, you want somebody who you know to be traditional to start to see, what the wave of the future is. Still sticking to the Bible, still sticking to the foundation, and evolving into what's necessary for this generation. But that's not what happens everywhere you go. And so we brought this up the other day, and I said this to my mom even the other day, and she was kind of like silent. But I said, maybe if you're at a church and you're not able to, your church isn't evolving. maybe it's not for you to force this evolution on your church. Maybe it reaches that point where this generation has to move into their own thing. Yeah. And I said that, whereas I said to my mom,
I had a conversation with my mom about that too.
She didn't go to her. I said to her, she wouldn't go to the church she grew up in now if they were doing the same thing, where they would, you know, the little things, you can't, back in her time, right?
Yeah.
They didn't have praise dance. You couldn't wear pants, whatever. And then they evolved and moved out of the country.
That same church evolved? Or
No, like our parents or whatever.
The parents evolved. Okay.
They move out of the country and now they go to a church now where they said, oh, you know what, we can have a youth Sunday. Oh, wow.
So they right now
revolutionary.
So right now there's a new movement.
That's what I think. I think now we're at this point where if you're not getting satisfied, things are making you cringe and things aren't, and even the younger ones that you guys are over are way different than we were just a few years ago.
I remember, I think if where I see now, like, I give youth leaders like you guys props, because I honestly think it's a lot harder now to reach the generation coming up. I think it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
But like I was saying to my mom, like, if you can know what school you want to go to, where you want to work, what you want to eat, you can also know what type of church you want to go to. There's nothing wrong with that.
And why do you think all these kind of more casual dress-in churches are becoming so much popular? Because I feel like that's how it's supposed to go. Like, we can't go, and I can't go and have my mom wear sleeveless and shorts to church. She's going to be so uncomfortable. But that's her thing. For me, it doesn't bother me. So maybe it's not for me to try to make her, to force her, like, no, this is what the people are doing, and make her wear shorts to church. It shouldn't be for me to force her. But if I'm still sticking to the foundations of the Bible, then I think that it's okay for us to even move out of what we grew up in, those traditional religious things, and go into our own things. And in the future, our own children are going to do the same thing to us. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yes, final thing on this one. I said this one time. If the church is going to be effective and continue to move, continue to grow, it cannot look at where it can never look at where it's presently at. It always has to look at where it needs to be, where it's going, a couple of years down the line, where it needs to be. Having a perspective of, okay, this is where it's at right now, and we need to, to launch out some more. We need to go out, step out a little bit more, because here is where, if you stay here, the rest of the world is going to pass you along. And I say this all the time, anything that is not growing is dead. So the moment the church begins not to move on and look how ways to improve on it and its people.
So I have a question for you, now that mentioned that. So with churches, do you think that there should be business owners and authors and just a lot of that fruitful stuff coming out of the church?
Paul wasn't just a writer, an apostle. He had a career as well. He was a tent maker, and that was big business back then. So he was an entrepreneur in a sense. And even though he was coming out of a wealthy family, he still had to work. He still had his regular job, his profession that he was doing back then. So when it comes down to Christians just being Christians and just going to work for somebody, I don't think so. I mean, the Bible also talking about saying that we should be leaders in a sense, right? We should be head and not the tail. I mean, you shouldn't be the head and not the tail in a sense. So you're talking about being the leaders of society, and not just in the church, but actually in politics,
yes.
and
corporate America. So I think Christians right now, some of them are kind of like caught up in this I'm a leader in the church already, Mm-hmm. So I can't be leading society in a sense because they won't get me. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we should be the one that's leading society. Right. Society leading us, and the churches.
I think it has become a home church work, 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 home church work. You got it? And if that is actually what all we're doing, we honestly don't need the word of God. We don't need it because we're not doing anything with it. We're just home church work.
That's a good point.
You know?
All right. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
That's where I'm at.
You get the word of God and then
what?
And then what? Right?
I want to go back.
Before you say that, I stop. I'm pausing now, Candy.
Okay.
I'm pausing now. I hit the button pause on the getting the word of God part. That's where I object to the getting of the word now, because I don't think that we're actually getting the right things that we're supposed to be getting in a lot of areas, But I thank God, for where we are right now and so on. But that's where I'm at. I'm hitting the pause button. I'm like time out.
Shine had said, you kind of know what you want after. I just like I said, it just goes back to what I said. I just feel that we just have a lot of things within us that just waiting to be birthed, and I just feel that we are not doing any of that. And I've just grown up in church from Jamaica, come here, just seen a lot of that same cycle, that same church home work cycle, and I'm not okay with that. I am not comfortable with that. And that's not how I want to live the rest of my life. Just doing just that, But and I want to be surrounded by authors and doctors and just people, man, just doing big things and representing. God got me. This is how I got here. Yeah. And I'm out here in the world showing y'all, that's what I want to see. I want to be inspired by the people in my church.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
I just want to touch back on a point about the shift right now with the church members and new members in a sense, right? So I love fishing. I love fishing. I can't fish. But
you love fishing?
I can't fish though.
Okay.
I mean, I love just to be out there, throwing out lines and just catching. It feels good. It feels so good when you catch a fish.
Yeah.
It could be smaller or larger. I caught one. Right.
That's dope.
But you know where I'm going, right? So.
Yes.
When it comes down to catching people, or not catching people, I'm saying, but trying to win people for your church, trying to convert them in a sense, right? After a while, we have to change the bait, because those fish get kind of so used to seeing the taste.
Why you sound like one of them from one of them churches? You sound like Carl Hedge.
Wait a minute.
I'm joking. Go ahead.
That's a compliment. I appreciate it. Yeah. But we need to change the bait in a sense. We have to change the bait. We have to change how we catch people in a sense. We can't continue using the same thing, because as I said, the church has the society has moved way past the church, and the church is doing the same thing, and you just catching a little small, not even catching anything, because everybody's just looking and say, okay, we know about that. We're not going to be involved for that. I remember
church is cycling from one
fishbowl. What about the fishbowl method? Just hopping from one fishbowl to the next fishbowl to the next fishbowl. They're not coming from the sea. They're not coming from the sea. They're coming from someone else's fishbowl.
Exactly.
A lot of that.
Yeah. The church hopping. Let's call it what it is. You remember Toastmasters? Not Toastmasters. We're talking about Toastmasters. In high school when they give out the free pizza.
Oh.
You think that could work right now?
First priority.
You think that could work right now? The free pizza thing?
Right.
Nobody cares about free pizza.
Don't care about free pizza.
We can go to Little Caesars and get a $5 pizza.
I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? They should use that and try to,
right, that works then, right.
It worked then, right? But free pizza ain't gonna cut it right now.
And to refer to that, I remember they were saying even KFC, KFC wouldn't work now if they were just trying to open up KFC now. KFC wouldn't work now because nobody's into that kind of stuff now. When they started KFC, I remember they were saying that was when women were just starting to go to work and all of that stuff. So they needed that food.
Hot food, yeah, exactly.
They needed that hot food. That's not going to work. That's not going to work now. You're not going to hop up and say, "Oh, I'm going to start KFC."
A place that have kale salads and
exactly, and quinoa and all of that stuff.
Chick-fil-A. There's always going to be a need for Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
Chick-fil-A. I mean, it's the same fried food, but at the same time, it's just Chick-fil-A, man.
All right, so to move it in a different direction, so we're definitely going to do this part 1, part 2. But okay, so Shane.
Oh Lord.
so Shane, some time ago.
What?
Oh, we're okay.
What?
Oh,
let's finish it. What is the question that was finished?
Oh, just my last question. Well,
no, yeah,
we're that deep in.
Oh yeah,
we are so deep in. Really? That means you're enjoying the conversation.
Wow, it's good.
Nice.
5 minutes. You sure you got 5 minutes?
No, Cecil, we're way in. So Shane, some time ago, when I was single, I'm still single, but you said to me, I remember you said to me that I was I'm trying to make sure I word it probably in a nice way. That I guess I was a bit much in regards to my earrings, my clothes, my makeup. Yeah, you thought that because you were telling me. Yes, he was. You were telling me that maybe I should tone it down a bit.
Oh,
that's not true.
Yes, he did. You remember, Shane?
I remember.
Okay. He does. See,
of course I remember.
Okay,
explain yourself.
I want to hear the question.
So so seeing that I am still single, would you agree with that comment? No, like what would be your advice?
Did you turn it down?
No.
Okay. I'm just kidding.
Shane got jokes, guys.
I'm just kidding.
Did you hear that, y'all? He came for me.
That was good.
So technically, that's why. Okay, so that's why. So that's why.
No. That's not why nobody's single. I mean, nobody knows. You know what I'm saying? Listen, God has plans for each and every person that He's using. And I know God is using you because, I mean, this podcast, what y'all doing right now, is going to reach a lot of people. And I believe, like I said earlier, when we first came on, y'all going to get sponsors. Y'all going to, I think, I just have this vibe about y'all, you know what I'm saying, and what y'all discuss. It's actually, it's relevant to society right now, to what people are going through. They want to hear real stuff. You know what I'm saying? The discussion thing was Cecil talking about, saying that certain things can be discussed from the pulpit, but at the same time, in a setting like this, it should be discussed. Or a town hall setting where people can actually have questions, actually sit and listen while they're working about real stuff, things that's going on in the world, things that's going on in the church, and how we can actually combine the two. So what you guys are doing right now is good. Just continue focusing on that. I'm sure the guy could be right around the corner because he's. I'm gonna tell you this. What attracted me to my wife? Let me tell you what attracted me to my wife.
Ooh. You listening?
So I know I met my wife years ago in high school, whatever, and I used to see her and I just say hi to her. I had a certain level of respect for her because I know she was a Christian and stuff. So I can't approach her in a certain way. I can't curse around her. You know what I'm saying? I got a person. Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? I can't be like, hey, what's up, shorty? I couldn't do that. Right. Because I had a certain level of respect for her. But after we graduated high school, now I saw her again. And I was kind of seeking out, my faith and trying to figure out what I'm doing with my life and so forth. I saw her, and I heard what she was doing with her life. Now, mind you, we were out of high school about a year and a half, and I already knew. I heard she had to finish and completed her associate's degree. I'm like, yo, she's going places. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm saying? That alone attracted me to her. Like, I was like, I needed somebody that's gonna go places because I had the same mindset. I want to do something that's gonna make a difference in society, and I'm gonna need that type of. Shorty next to me. So what y'all doing right now is, I think is powerful. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna reach people that the church cannot reach, the pulpit cannot reach. So I think that guy's gonna listen like, yo, Candy, oh man, I just love her vibe on the. He could be listening right now.
That's true, because sometimes it's not about, we're used to talking about physical attraction, but somebody could be attracted to you. Like, I can be attracted to people that I've never met, Right. I see their picture maybe, but just from
their
things
voice.
that you see, their voice, whatever.
They are. You expressing who you are.
Yeah.
Somebody else is attracted to who you are, and that's probably the best way how to be attracted to somebody, not their physical appearance, but who they are. Somebody, you get to know somebody's mind, and you like.
Well, I just wanted to let y'all know that that's what Shane said to me a couple years back. So yeah.
Are you gonna get over it now? Or
I'm over it. I just.
okay.
But she didn't know what I meant by it, though.
Okay.
You know what I meant by it.
You gonna tell her what you meant by it or no? Okay.
No.
We'll move on.
Talk about it off the air.
Okay.
No.
Should be interesting.
So
It was not bad. It was definitely nothing bad. She took it the wrong way. But the guy that's listening right now, her name is Candy.
Okay.
And the name fits the description. Boom.
hey.
Did he just say boom? These guys, okay. Yeah, these guys are hilarious.
Oh, by the way,
Fun outgoing.
by the way, hold on. I heard through the grapevines that you made the ultimate mistake of saying that neither one of us are funny by ourselves. Therefore, we both had to be fun.
No.
I don't recall that.
Explain yourself.
That is not, yo. Okay,
That's for me, though.
Cecil's wife. That was not that. So y'all. So
That's true. I'll be
Cecil
nice
heard
with
that from his wife, and that is not what happened. Good thing we do text messages now because
Yeah, the
the
receipts.
proof. I have the receipts.
Okay, all right.
She said that you are not funny.
Oh.
And then she suggested that I have Shane come on, and I'm like, we're already going to have Shane on. And she's like, good, that will balance it out. and I'm like, so what you're saying, Shane is funny? Because I'm like, Shane is not.
I'm not
funny
funny
either.
I'm not funny.
So that was
laughing the whole
basically
time.
all. That's basically all it was. But she felt that you needed some help in that area.
Because she thinks I'm not funny, but I tell her that I give jokes all the time, and people are like, look at this!
Yeah.
Listen. I'm like Bishop. Let me crack it, Bishop.
He's turning red, y'all.
Let me crack it. I've heard this that I laugh at my jokes more than I do.
Yeah, we got it.
All right.
All right, y'all.
We're
So
laughing now.
to wrap it up, what song are you guys listening to right now? We're gonna play your songs.
What artists, what music you're into right now?
Yeah.
Actually, I just started. I went back a little bit. I'm listening to Jermaine Edwards right now.
I like Jermaine
His one
Edwards.
particular song, "Love and Devotion." That one is what I'm jamming to right now.
What is it? Love and Devotion.
Yeah, "Love and Devotion." From his album "Destiny," I believe.
Okay.
And I'm always listening to Barry Salmon because that's like one of my favorite artists. So I
love
stay
Barry.
listening to.
I like "Hallelujah" by Jermaine Edwards.
Yeah, that's good.
I like that
that's
song,
nice.
and of
Yeah.
course Barry's.
Yeah, I stay listening to that dude because, give me some nice rhymes and some nice lyrics to carry home to La Crema.
Hey.
Real talk.
Hey, real talk.
Later on, right, Candy?
He's like, wrap it up.
Wrap it up, right? Yeah, that's hilarious. I like that, Cecil. Good job. Let me high five it across the room. That was funny. I give you a prop.
Say it again.
That was
Say it
funny.
again. Okay.
Let's see what. That was funny.
All right.
Yes.
Funny.
All right, Shane, your turn. What are you listening to?
It's kind of weird right now. All right, so I'm not really listening to any particular artist or music in a sense. I listen to a certain station. I listen to K-Love right now. I listen to K-Love straight.
Okay.
Or I listen to Amazon worship music because I'm always in like
Amazon worship music.
yeah, they have a station. Amazon.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, come with Alexa or something like that. So like, Alexa, play worship music, and she put up Amazon. It's cool. So I listen to that
Okay.
all day. But what I do listen to sometimes, I try to find out what's hot right now in society because I want to know what people are listening to. I like to draw things from that, draw some type of, just try to say something that will kind of get people attention, especially when I'm teaching. you know, and my focus right now is to try to build this young adults ministry with a team of people. And you just gotta. I mean, we know that we have to be somewhat familiar with what's going on in society. So I listen to the Cardi B song. I try to dissect it. I listen to what she's saying. I love. I mean, listen. She's saying something real, and she captivated a lot of people because she's so real, and where she's coming from. Her transition from being an adult dancer now to a rapper and to an entrepreneur. She's making a lot of money and stuff like that, and that's inspiring to a lot of people. So I listened to the song, understand what's going on, understand who she is. I didn't listen to her song. I read her bio, and just kind of like, you know. So if she's hot right now, I'm going to listen to that. Whatever is hot right now, I'm listening. Whatever hot artist is out there, I'm going to listen to them, find out what's going on, because they have more influence on society than the church. True. I told you guys, I'm a fisherman, but I don't know how to fish, but I love fishing. Okay. And that's part of it.
It's
yeah.
true.
Right. What about you, Candy?
Oh wow. I don't know. I don't really think I'm listening to anything right now. I think I'm stumped.
I went to a concert over the weekend. She's an anonymous artist. It's her, like an acronym, HER. Yeah, and she does like soul love songs kind of thing. And even though I was standing right there at the concert, you still really can't. You would never be able to pick her out because she's wearing these huge glasses and this big hair, and she's like maybe over a year or so now. She's remained anonymous. No one. Just like that other artist, Sia, yeah, did with the blonde.
Yeah, I think that's a great
bangs.
idea.
You remember that? Yeah, the same kind of thing.
Great idea.
But her voice is amazing. Her songs are, you know, that love song kind of thing. She's singing about heartbreak and new love and different kind of stuff. So I like her, and seeing her live was really good.
Well, in music, what I am looking forward to is Winter Jam in January to see Skillet. Guys, if you don't know the group Skillet, check them out.
They make a lot of noise.
They're so dope.
Got a lot of good noise.
What?
No, good noise.
Yeah, good noise, yes. So Winter Jam will be here in January at the Bank Atlantic, and I'm going because I want to see Skillet, but that's pretty much that.
So I would really, really like to thank our
yes. Oh my gosh, this is so good.
This is such a good discussion. We're gonna have to cut it into.
Yes,
I'm excited about that.
Oh my gosh.
So, you know, thank you for the open discussion.
Thank you.
And we'd definitely like to have you guys back with other topics in the future.
Yes.
You know, Shane didn't really want to do this. He was
I know. Y'all, let me tell you, Shane was going to leave me so hanging with this. I just want to put that out there.
Is this still recording?
Yes, it's still recording. Was it bad, Shane? Did you enjoy it?
I knew it was.
Did I mess with your image?
No. The reason why I didn't want to do it, I'm not saying I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it with Cecil. Here's why. Cecil. No, nothing bad.
Oh.
Both of us on here, I knew it was going to go like 2-3 hours because he loves to debate. He loves to talk. He's a preacher.
What? You talking more than I did? No! You see?
Okay. All right.
All right. It's fine. No. That's not the reason. I'm just kidding. No, because you know, right now my schedule is very tight, and I didn't want to promise you and didn't show up. So I was like, let me just make sure.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm glad you were able to fit us in.
Yeah, I'm glad I came too. It was real cool. I loved it.
So that's it for today.
That's it.
Follow us on Instagram. These two girls. The number 2 girls with a U. If you have any questions, any ideas, any comments, any podcast ideas, any suggestions,
or you want to sponsor us,
please email us at these2girlspodcast@gmail.com, and follow us also on Twitter, same handle. That's about it.
Thank you guys. See you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Say bye. Boom.
Every time I get mad about water, I try to save myself from drown. It's an overnight scheme all over, designed to keep me down. Still I'm putting up a resistance. I'm a